Hi guys, it's Friday. We're going to have our live show in about an hour, and I just thought I would say hello, let you know that we're going to do the show. I'm also going to make a little bit of marinade. I have these pork chops here. These are rib end chops, which I really like. I'm going to broil them in soy sauce marinade. I really like the rib end chops because they have a nice marbling on them, and that'll really keep them nice and moist as they caramelize in the broiler. So I'm going to take some soy sauce, just a glug, fairly generous amount, and then some sugar or honey, whatever I can find first, maybe even both. Quite a bit of it actually. It's a pretty healthy glug of honey. I don't want to use up all the honey because Jen will be very sad later. She has no honey for her morning tea. So I'm going to also throw some sugar in here. It's going to be pretty sweet. It'll burn a little in the broiler, but that's okay. It'll still have plenty of sauce left that's nice. I'm going to also take some hoisin sauce. Maybe a couple tablespoons, not too much. Mix that up. Sometimes I also add some kind of juice or acid. I used to use lime juice in it, but it actually gets a little sour. I don't like that. Just give this a quick little taste. Saltiness and sweetness have to balance. And then some Chinese five spice. Different kinds of five spice powder have different things in them. It's pretty much always anise, usually ginger, cinnamon. What does this one have in it? It has cinnamon, fennel, cloves, star anise, and white pepper. So it's kind of anisey. Do that and give it one more taste. Very good. I can taste the anise nicely. A little bit of oil. Sometimes I also use vinegar in this marinade, but I'm going to keep it simple. Go relatively traditional tonight. And maybe just a glug of, just a little bourbon. Let's see if I had any bourbon that I was willing to pour into a marinade. I do. And then one last taste, and I'm going to put garlic in here. You want to definitely make sure you give it a last taste before you put the garlic in. Of course, after I put the garlic in, it is going to taste like nothing except for raw garlic. I don't mind that so much, but I won't be able to taste the balance. So if it's too salty, you can add more sugar. If it's too sweet, well, if it's too sweet, I guess you can add more soy sauce. So some garlic, I'm just gonna give this a little smash. Sometimes I microplane the garlic for this, but having little chunks of garlic is also nice. Definitely don't need to be careful in this kind of cooking. Do not need to be careful with how much you smash the garlic. So I'm going to smash it enough that it's easy enough to peel so you don't all get too bored watching this, hopefully. The children will be here for the show. Not going to be the Wesley Chin cooking show because that's a whole different show. They would require me to be prepared and know what I was doing. The whole point of the show is to embrace the chaos. That's what I keep telling myself about quarantine in general. So I'm just peeling the garlic here. See if I can get an angle on the cutting board without cutting off my whole head. The answer is probably no. Okay. And I'm going to give this I hate the end of the clove of garlic where the cloves are really small. It takes a long time to peel. It's particularly bad for cooking in front of a live Facebook audience. I think what else I can tell you. They use pretty much exactly the same marinade on pork. You use it on ribs. Use it on chicken. I particularly love to do this with chicken thighs. Actually, this pork and the rest of what I'm going to make tonight are supposed to be two different meals, but in good quarantine fashion. Our meal planning got a little off, so we had some carbonara last night, and I'm rolling the pork into our noodles. Sorry, it's going to be a very meat-heavy meal. I apologize to the planet for the unsustainability of that. We're headed back out of town tomorrow, and I don't want to freeze these pork chops, so we're just going to cook them. Okay, so I'm going to give this garlic a nice little mince. What we are making tonight are these noodles here we're going to make. Hopefully these are cellophane noodles. They might in fact be rice vermicelli, so the recipe is going to work with either one. It says vermicelli on the package, but they do say that on the cellophane noodles as well. So we'll find out after we soak them in water and cook them. We'll see if they turn clear or not, and then we'll make the dishes. Okay, this marinade has nothing to do with that, although you could cut up this pork and put it into a noodle dish. That's what they do. Like if you get pork dishes with noodles at Chinese takeout places, it'll usually say roast pork, and it's really some version of this. This is a lot like the Chinese roast pork that you can buy hanging in the window in Chinatown. If you slow cook it, actually does turn fairly red with just the soy sauce, but I'm pretty sure there's also red food coloring involved in the version that you see hanging in the windows. I'm gonna give this pork chops a little poke. Also, usually would grill some tofu in this marinade. I'm gonna put the tofu in the noodle dish. Some pokes, get that under here. Probably not gonna bother to refrigerate this because it's only gonna be 40 minutes till we put it in, and it will not come to room temperature in that time. So you see, I've got pork chops in the marinade. I'm gonna leave those there. And the other thing I'm going to do, although I could do this on the show, the important thing about these noodles is that you want to soak them in some cold water before you cook them. It's not totally essential, you can get away without it, but you'll get a much better result. So I'm going to do maybe, good question, how many packs of noodles I think I'm going to do, there are 6 of us and I'm not making rice, so I think I'm going to do 4 packages of these noodles. Into a bowl of cold water. Also will not need to go in the refrigerator. You see they have very nice, neat little ties on here, which is cool. But just gonna cut them open. So you see these are quite dried. They'll soften up in the water, and then when I throw them in the wok to stir fry them, they'll already be soft and they'll get all mixed up, and I won't have to add too much liquid just to hydrate the noodles. So those 4 packages of noodles going in the pot, and later on we will make some noodles with, noodles are going to be with beef and napa cabbage and tofu, maybe a little egg, and we'll have the roast pork. And I think that's it. If I had bean sprouts, I would do it, but I don't have it. So hopefully I will see you guys in 40 minutes.